Good evening, our cherished audience. It's another beautiful episode of the UEW Business School Challenge in collaboration with Radio Winneba 98.3 FM at the University of Education, Winneba. You are live on our Facebook page, 98.3 FM. You can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And don't forget, you can log on to www.uew.edu.gh. Today, I have Mr. Samuel Gamali Gajo here with me as the quiz master. Last week we had our zonal challenge with other universities at the Koforidia Technical University. I'll go to him right now and ask him how it went. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Amina.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Last week we heard you guys did well. You went to the Koforidia Technical University. We want to know what happened there.
Okay, yes, we went to the Uewabs Technical University for the zonal championship. That comprised universities from four regions. That is Volta, OT, actually five regions:
Okay.
Volta and OT, Eastern region, Central region, and Western region. So we had 8 universities in all, and 3 of them were to qualify to the national championship to be held in Accra. That is from 1st August. Um, Through our hard work and our preparation, and through the support of Radio Winneba 98.3 FM and the technical support from the School of Business, our candidate placed second in the zonals, and it was so nice. I wish you were there to watch it.
That was it. So, can you tell us what your expectation before going?
Actually, the expectation was to become the zonal champions, because the University of Cape Coast have been the zonal champions and national champions. So we knew we had a very big task ahead of us. We went in, we did our work so hard. Yes, I don't want to put blames, but then there were some technical challenges that made
Okay.
UCC victorious. That is how come you saw the margin to be four.
Yeah.
Actually, the 4-point margin, we started from round two. In round two is 3 universities. So when a university does not get their question, you are supposed to ring your bell and be given the opportunity to answer the bonus. So when we go to round two, there was a problem with bell and that of UCC. They sounding alike. So UCC were giving a metallic bell where they will hit it with a nail. And you know, we all know electronic
Yeah.
and I mean the physical. So then what happened was that they had most of the
Opportunities.
bonuses from Florida Technical University. So they actually had 5 bonuses from
Wow.
Florida Technical University, and that made their points a bit higher than our own from the round two. And even though that happened, we're still leading them with a point
Okay.
until the round five, the last round where they were better than us. So they came out tops. So it's a very good school. UCC is a very good school, but we prepared well. Our students also gave a very good account of themselves. If we were to be at the auditorium, all the supporters there, including the students of Florida Technical University, were not even supporting their school, they were supporting UW instead because of the performance from our guys. So they did very, very well on the day. So the expectation was to win, but we came out second. And I think that when we go to the national championship, we've seen the mistakes. We've worked on it for the past 1 week, and we hope that we will bring the trophy to Winneba.
And to our last question, previously and now, what has been the upgrade with our UW to quizzes as this?
Okay, they've been doing well. The very first edition, it was the Royal Bank Challenge. We placed third out of 26 universities. The second competition, we're not notified early. We're given only 4 days notice, whilst other schools had 6 month notice. But we still went and we placed fifth in that competition. The third one were fourth, the fourth one were third. Last year were, I'll say, the marks were fourth. This year, what I'm happy for is that every year UW goes, our marks, our average points we score increases. This year, the point is that when we check the records, the champion schools have always averaged a mark of 65 to 64 points. So the agreement with my guys is to make sure that we hit above 70, and we know that when we hit above 70, we will be in a comfortable zone to win the championship. And that's how come you saw we are amassing 74 points. So it is an improvement of, for the past 4 years, our average mark has been 56.
Okay.
And so to see our first contest against reigning, two-time champions, UCC,
Sure.
amassing 74 points, you see that, they've
Yeah.
really improved on their performance. And I'm very, very happy for that. Hopefully this year around when we go, if you should maintain that momentum, we will definitely bring back the trophy to Winneba.
That's great. And that's the hard work of the School of Business and yourself as the quizmaster here. We know the work you've put in so much, and we want to say thank you so much for being their quizmaster and putting, pressure on them, or giving them the encouragement to go ahead and then put us on the map. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, but I would like to thank the production crew
Okay.
of this program, giving our students the exposure. When we went there, it was just normal for them. They felt at home because of this production. So to the manager of Radio Unity, Mr. Collins Awoku, Bright Fuga,
Okay.
all the technical
Technical
guys,
team.
all of you, thank you very much for the opportunity. And to the Dean of School of Business, University Management, and all my colleague lecturers.
Thank you also. We also want to say thank you for availing yourself for this opportunity
You're
and
welcome.
mentoring our colleague learners also to put a school on the map. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Also, on this note, we want to invite two of the contestants who were.
Don't worry, we had some internet challenges, so don't worry, you're okay. All right, so 3, 2, 1, action.
Okay, so we have our two contestants here who were contestants for our zonal graphic tertiary business science challenge at the Koforidua Technical University. They are here to tell us what they went through as students of the University of Education, Winneba. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you tell us your name?
Please, I'm James Nanofoy.
Okay.
I'm Simon Alija.
So I'll start with Simon. What was your expectation?
Oh, our expectation was to go and win. We want to be the champions, but unfortunately, it didn't go on well. Due to
Okay.
certain challenges we had.
Okay. So James, before you were going, what was you thinking? Were you thinking that other universities you're going to meet would do better than you, or you knew you had prepared ahead, so there was no way they were going to take over?
Okay, so based on our preparation so far, a lot have gone into our preparation, and we have good masters who have taught us, and we have really spent a lot of time on our books. So we had the confidence to go and win in the first place.
Okay. So as you came home, or while you were coming, what was running through your mind since you were not able to emerge the winner?
Okay, when we were coming home, because of the confidence that we had, we decided not to lose that confidence and come home and come and do better, so that in the next rounds we can emerge as the winners.
Okay. So to Simon, what's your next ambition with regards to the graphic tertiary business challenge? The cup is home. We are grateful that the cup. Before you go, we want you to tell the viewers, audiences, and your colleague watching what you expect them to do in order to encourage you to do better than we did at the Koforidua Technical University. I'll start with Simon.
You need their support in whichever way you need their support.
Okay. To James.
Okay, as my brother said, we need their support, and also as we do these things, it's physical aspect, but they should remember us in prayers as they move along so that we can go and make them and the school as a whole proud.
Okay, so with James again, is there anybody you're going to say a shout out to so that okay, I'm just giving you just a second.
Okay. Shout out to Gidi Major Limited. Shout out to Marco. Shout out to our mother Becky Grr. Shout out to all our fellow students and all School of Business.
Okay.
Shout
Yeah.
out to my colleagues and shout out to my associates.
Your associate. Hey, I hear. So these were some of our two contestants who represented the University of Education Winneba at the Koforidua Technical University for the Graphic Tertiary Business Zone quiz. We move on to our next, which is Mr. Sammy.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Now you've come back to your official seat.
Yes.
So what is the expectation for today?
Okay, today is going to be very interesting. It's between two very strong strategies in finance, poison pill and golden parachute. So I'll tell our listeners to stay tuned and listen to what is up for them.
I think on this note, I'll tell my director to call the ambulance, the university ambulance, to be here since we have a poison pill. We don't know who's going to drink it. But on that note, I want to say that our audience says your messages need to come in so that we know whether poison pill or golden parachute will take or carry the day. Here is Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM and you are watching us live. Send your messages and we are here to read for you. On this note, I'll go back to Mr. Samuel Gamali Gajo, who is the quiz master, and he will take over.
Come and sit. Come and sit. Go and sit. Good evening, good evening, cherished listeners and viewers of Radio Winneba 98.3 FM. Welcome to the fourth contest of the Uewabs Business Challenge. I am Samuel Gameli Gaju, your quiz master who is a philomath. Today's contest promises to be a very interesting one, having done three editions, which was very, very much interesting and very educative. Today's contest is between poison pill and golden parachute. Now, a little bit of education. Poison pill is basically for the uninitiated. It's a strategy that is used in finance or financial management, where a company wants to purchase another company or wants to take over the operations of another company because that company is struggling in their finances, or they are struggling to, as it were, make some profit or meet their demands. And so when that happens, other companies that see that company to be very promising would like to take over their operations. And so what most companies do is to ensure that they bring in some strategies into the operation that will ensure that they will make the activities unattractive for other companies to take over their activities. So a poison pill strategy is where you include in your clauses. A clause can be maybe a loan agreement with a company where, for example, you say that, okay, in the event where another company wants to take over my operations, that company will be responsible for all the loans that I've contracted and also pay me times two of the loan to me before they can take over the company. So it discourages you from coming to purchase that company, and that is why it is called poison pill. So it's basically clauses um, implemented by company to ward off any takeover from predatory companies. So today, the team from Poison Pill are saying they are going to give us a little bit of poison, and through the little bit of poison, they are going to win the game. Only time will tell. Golden Parachute is technically a type of poison pill. That is where you decide that to avoid a takeover, there is a clause in every top executive's agreement or contract where there is a takeover. That top executive is paid times four, or a very hefty amount as severance pay, or a hefty amount as salary. And that top executive, those top executives will still be in the company even after a takeover. So for example, company A wants to purchase company B, and company B has given contract to all their top executives such that when company A purchases company B, they will be required to pay a hefty salary to all the top executives. Aside that, buy houses for them and let them be in the company, even though it is a takeover, be in the company for a very long time. So when that happens, you realize that it discourages the predatory company from coming to purchase the company. So that is just a golden parachute strategy. It's a type of poison pill where you try to ward off predators by trying to increase the pay of top executives and give them very good conditions of service. So let's see whether the team from Golden Parachute will be able to use that strategy to win today's contest. Without wasting my time, I would like to tell you that today's contest is brought to you by Radio Winneba 98.3 FM with technical support from the School of Business at the University of Education Winneba. The School of Business is a very dynamic school that has 5 departments, namely Department of Accounting, Department of Applied Finance and Policy Management, Department of Management Sciences, Department of Marketing and Entrepreneurship, and Department of Procurement and Supply Chain Management. Without wasting my time, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so students from Poison Pill, can you introduce yourself to us?
My name is Felix Blay, Bachelor of Science. I am Felix Blay, Bachelor of Science Accounting Education, level 200.
Simon Ahleja BB accounting level 400.
Excellent. So Simon and Felix, what are your expectations?
They know we are poison pill.
Okay, so you are the parent. You are going to just tell them that they are just a type of poison pill. Okay, let's see what let's see what will happen. Golden Parachute, can you introduce yourself to us?
I'm Agbodan Joshua, BBA, accounting level 300.
I'm James Nano for BB account level 400.
Joshua and James. Joshua and James, you are welcome. What are your expectations?
Okay, so we expect nothing but the best, but in the tree adage, we have something like Utu Edubonia Ebikawano.
Okay. Charlie. Okay, listeners and viewers, Utu Edrobonia Ebikawano. Let's see whether that will happen today. Today's contest is going to take 6 rounds. Round 1 is theory questions where they are asked theoretical questions in business and they are supposed to provide an answer. A correct answer is 3 points, and if they are unable to answer, it is passed on to the next team, and if they are able to answer, they will get a point. They have a maximum of 30 seconds to provide 10 seconds to provide an answer, and after which it will be passed on to the other school. Round 2 is practical calculation questions where they are given 30 seconds to provide an answer to practical questions in all the business areas, and they are expected to solve it within 30 seconds. A bonus also attracts a point. Round 3 is a business case of the day. Yeah, in today's business case of the day, they have been given a case study, and they were given a case study to solve within an hour. They've already prepared their lecture, their PowerPoint, so they are going to present under round 3, and the technicals are going to score them accordingly. Round 4A is the business segment where Radio Windy based business news over the week questions are asked on it to see how prepared the students are when it comes to current affairs issues. Round 4B is true or false, where they are posed questions to answer, and round 5 is the riddles. Round 5, because we have round 4A and round 4B, that's why I said it is 6 rounds. That is why I said it's 6 rounds. So round 5 is riddles. They are posed questions and they are expected to provide an answer, giving the clues to the various questions. You are still listening to Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. This program is being streamed live on our Facebook handle Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM, and on the university website www.uew.edu.gh. May the best team win. Let the violence begin. Round 1. I would like to start from Poison Pill, since they are the parents. Poison Pill, your major question. Mention the threefold needs and expectations of people at work. Mention the threefold needs and expectations of people at work.
Productive habits, comply with rules and regulations at work, and not not to abuse companies' assets.
That is incorrect.
So, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness.
No, that's also not correct. Bonus to golden parachute.
Conducive working environment, equal pay for equal work, and also career development.
If it were to be your major question, I would have given it to you, but I would not give it to you. So it is economic reward, intrinsic satisfaction, and social relationship. Economic reward, intrinsic satisfaction, and social relationship. Golden parachute, your major question. A positive reaction to the blockage of a desired goal, which can take the form of problem solving or restructuring, is known as. A positive reaction to the blockage of a desired goal, which can take the form of problem solving or restructuring, is known as.
Cognitive dissonance.
That is not correct.
The answer is cognitive aversion.
Bonus to poison pill.
Constructive behavior.
That is correct. Constructive behavior is the correct answer. Okay, your major question, poison pill. According to the managerial leadership grade, a manager who has a high concern for production and low concern for people is According to the managerial leadership grade, a manager who has a high concern for production and low concern for people is
Authority compliance.
excellent. That's correct. That's correct. Golden parachute, your major question. According to the managerial leadership grade, a manager who has a low concern for production and low concern for people is, according to the managerial leadership grade, a manager who has a low concern for production and low concern for people is.
An improvised leader.
That is correct. For example, your major question. Can you explain to us what an ultra-variance contract is? What is an ultra-variance contract?
It's a contract where the authorities or the powers are exceeded, or he acts beyond his powers.
That is correct. It is a contract entered into by a company in excess of its objectives as contained in its regulations. So I'll give it to you. Golden parachutes. What are naked debentures? What are naked debentures?
Naked debentures are debentures that creates no charge over the organization's assets.
Excellent. That's correct. So naked debentures are unsecured debentures having no charge either on fixed or floating, and that is correct. Your major question. Mention the 3 stages of money laundering. Poison pill. Mention the 3 stages of money laundering.
Rationalization, taking opportunity, and actually committing the laundry.
And that is not correct. So it's an opportunity for golden parachute. Your bonus.
So we have placement, layering, and integration.
Correct. Golden parachute. Your major question. Mention any 3 anti-corruption institutions in Ghana. Any 3 anti-corruption institutions in Ghana.
So we have YOCO, we have YOCO, we have the Special Prosecutor's Office, and also we have the PPA,
Which is
the Public Procurement Authority.
that is correct. That is correct. So we have the YOCO Economic and Organized Crime Office, Financial Intelligence Center, Security Exchange Commission, Internal Audit Agency, Public Procurement Authority, Office of the Special Prosecutor, Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ. So your major point, your major question, poison pill. Taking up references on the proposed client company and its directors, if they are not already known to the auditor before accepting a new audit appointment, is known as taking up references on the proposed client company and its directors if they are not already known to the auditors before accepting a new audit appointment, is known as. So poison pill, you are not able to get golden parachute bonus.
Client screening.
Excellent. It's Christ screening. So golden parachute, your major question. What sort of assurances is provided in an engagement to review historical financial statements? What sort of assurance is provided in an engagement to review historical financial statements?
Limited assurance.
Excellent. That's correct. Limited assurance is correct. Poison pill, your major question. Now this is a common preamble to all of you. Explain the following terms and practices used in public procurement. So poison pill, your own is board of survey. Board of survey.
So the board of survey is established whenever there's a need to dispose store.
Excellent, that's correct. So board of survey is composed anytime there is the need to dispose of government stores and assets. They are to examine the conditions of the stores or assets to be disposed and submit report to the head of entity, and that is correct. Golden parachute, your question. Tender security. Tender security.
So tender security is an assurance given to the tender organization to ensure that the tenders who are taking it's a security that is given to the organization to ensure that those who are engaged in the practices are not fictitious but will remain committed and perform their role till the end.
Correct. It's correct. Poison pill, your major question. This is the last set for the round. Adjusting prices continually to meet the characteristics and needs of individual customers and situation is referred to as adjusting prices continually to meet the characteristics and needs of individual customers and situations is referred to as
Incremental pricing,
and that cannot be correct.
differential pricing.
No, that is not correct. Golden parachute, your major question. It's a bonus to you.
Dynamic pricing.
Excellent. It's dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is correct. Golden parachute, your major question. A temporary period of unusually high sales driven by consumer enthusiasm and immediate product or brand popularity is known as a temporary period of unusually high sales driven by consumers enthusiasm and immediate product or brand popularity is known as
A fad.
ladies and gentlemen, fad is correct. A fad is correct, and that is the end of the wow. That is the end of round one, ladies and gentlemen. You are still listening to Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and this is the University of Education Uewabs Business Challenge between Poison Pill and Golden Parachute. The round one has been very, very, very interesting. Amina, do you have anything for us?
Indeed, it has been interesting. I wish the audiences have a space here to see what's happening live here in our studios of Radio Winneba 98.3 FM. Keep your messages coming on our Facebook page, and I'm here to read it loud for everyone in the world to hear your messages for us. So Nana Mavlo says, very impressive. We have Daniel Coleman says, watching you live from Ahafo Kenya, number 2, Jericho. Barack Abna says, heat. Ezekiel Lionel Davidson says, poison pill. Barack Abna says, Ala James flow. Nukbeza Christopher says, here we are again. Daniel Coleman is still watching us from Ahafo Kenya, number 2, Jericho. We have Kwabna. Barack Abna says, heat on heat. Ezekiel Lionel Davidson again, he says poison pill. And we have Cayman is watching. Bodo Emmanuel says, very impressive, Abodie. Dunyo Victor says, watching you live from Winneba South Campus. Excellency Nanayao says, more fire. Barack Abna says, Allah AI. Nukbeza Christopher says, James is on fire. Barack Abna again says, James is on fire. Bright Ewusi says, heat, violence. Owusu even says us with a love emoji. You know, Stephanie Lady Donko says, wow. Bernardo says, more fire. Nana Abna Irama says, James is giving us more fire. Solomon Kinmera says, fire for fire. Indeed, it's fire for fire between poison pills and golden parachutes. I'll go back to the quiz master, and I'm still here waiting on for your messages here on our Facebook page. Do as the good, and we are pleased with your messages.
Thank you very much. Keep your messages coming, and we are going to read them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round one, poison pill had 10 points, and golden parachute had 21 points. And so level 300 banking and finance students, level 400 corporate reporting students. Some of these questions will be dropping in your assessment next week. So take your pens, calculators, and start solving some of these questions. Anyway, so we are in round two, And round 2 is calculation. They will be posed with practical questions in business, and they are supposed to use their calculators to provide an answer. They will be answering the various questions in 30 seconds. So if they are unable to get it, it's passed on to the next team for a bonus of 1 mark. For example, can you stage a comeback?
Yeah, sure.
What strategy are you going to use?
We are ending them here.
You are earning them here. Golden parachute, you've taken a golden commanding lead. Can you maintain it?
So we are maintaining what they are saying, Kasa and Farmer.
Kasa. Only time will tell whether Kasa and Frama or not. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 2. Round 2, let the violence begin. Golden parachute, your major question. Amina Limited uses a predetermined overhead recovery rate based on machine hours. Budgeted factory overheads for a year amounted to 720,000 cedis, but actual factory overheads incurred was 738,000 cedis. During the year, the company absorbed 714,000 cedis of factory overheads on 119,000 actual machine hours. What was the company's budgeted level of machine hours for the year? Amela Limited uses a predetermined overhead rate, recovery rate based on machine hours. Budgeted factory overhead for a year amounted to 720,000 cedis, but actual factory overhead incurred was 738,000 cedis. During the year, the company absorbed 714,000 cedis of factory overheads on 119,000 actual machine hours. What was the company's budgeted level of machine hours for the year?
The answer is 108000.
No, that is not correct.
595,000.
Bonus to poison pill. And it is 120,000 hours. 120,000 hours. So your major question, poison pill. Benedict PLC uses an overhead absorption rate of 3 cedis 50 pesos per machine hour based on 32,000 budgeted machine hours for the period. During the same period, the actual total overhead expenditure amounted to 108,875 and 30,000 machine hours were recorded on actual production. By how much was the total overhead under or over absorbed for the period? Benedict PLC uses an overhead absorption rate of 3 cedis 50 pesos per machine hour based on 32,000 budgeted machine hours for the period. During the same period, the actual total overhead expenditure amounted to 108,875 cedis and 30,000 machine hours were recorded on actual production. By how much was the total overhead under or over absorbed for the period?
7,000.
That is not correct.
3,875 under absorb.
Correct. That is correct. So it is 3,000. It is 3,875 under absorbed, and it is correct. Your major question. Your major question. Golden parachute. Radio Windy Bay has erratic daily cash movement with a standard deviation of 3,000 cedis per day. It costs 25 cedis to move cash between its current assets and its short-term deposit accounts. Current account and its short-term deposit account. The deposit account earns an interest of 7.3% per annum. There are 365 days in a year. Calculate the spread between the upper and lower limits that should be set for the current account using the Miller or cash management model. So I read the question again. Radio Windy Bay has erratic daily cash movement with a standard deviation of 3,000 cedis per day. It costs 25 cedis to move cash between current account and its short-term deposit account. The deposit account earns an interest rate of 7.3% per annum. There are 365 days in a year. Calculate the spread between the upper and lower limits that should be set for the current account using the Miller or cash management model.
So the spread is 49528.9.
That is not correct.
$220.47.
No. So bonus to poison pill.
19364.
It is 28,348 cedis. So your major question, poison pill. Fuga Limited is considering investing in a 2-year project. The machine setup cost will be 125,000 cedis, payable immediately. Working capital of 4,000 is required at the beginning of the contract and will be released at the end. Given a cost of capital of 10%, what is the minimum acceptable contract price to be received at the end of the contract? Fuga Limited is considering investing in a 2-year project. Machine setup cost is 125,000 cedis. Payable immediately. Working capital is 4,000 or 4,000 is required at the beginning of the contract and will be released at the end. Given a cost of capital of 10%, what is the minimum acceptable contract price to be received at the end of the contract?
So 25.8.
No, it's not 25.8. Your time is up. Golden parachute, your is a bonus to you.
2420000.
Oh, but how did you compute it? How did you compute it?
I multiply because it's 2 years. I multiply the immediate price by 2, subtracted the
You just find the present value of all. That's all. You just find the present value. So that 125,000 cedis, the initial cash flow, is discounted at year 0. So it's 1. Then you're going to get 125,000 cedis. Then you discount the working capital as well. But the working capital will be received at the end of 2 years. So you find the present value for 2 years for the working capital. You add them. That is the minimum amount you should receive. Okay, because that is the cost of the investment. So you get 125,696. That is all. Okay, poison. Is it golden parachute? Your major question. Capital Limited wishes to undertake a project requiring an investment of 732,000 cedis, which will generate equal annual inflow of 146,400 in perpetuity. If the first inflow from the investment is a year after the initial investment, what is the internal rate of return of the project? Capital Limited wishes to undertake a project requiring an investment of 732,000 cedis, which will generate equal annual inflow of 146,400 cedis in perpetuity. If the first cash inflow from the investment is a year after the initial investment, what is the internal rate of return of the project?
%20.
Excellent. That's correct. Poison pill. Your major question. Bright Fuga Limited has 7% loan notes in issue, which are redeemable in 7 years' time at a 5% premium to their nominal value of 100 cedis per note. The tax before cost of debt of the company is 9%, and the tax after cost of debt of Bright Fuga Limited is 6%. What is the current market value of each loan note? So Bright Fuga Limited has 7% loan note in issue, which are redeemable in 7 years' time at a premium of 5%, at a 5% premium to their nominal value of 100 cedis per loan note. The before tax cost of debt of the company is 9%, and the after tax cost of debt of the company is 6%. What is the current market value of each loan note? Your time is up. Golden parachute bonus.
The answer 108.9.
It can be 108. It should be less than 100. It's 92.67. So you find the present value of the coupon. That is 7% times 100. And because it's annuity, you find the present value. You find the annuity factor for 7 years. And is it for 7 years? Yeah, it's for 7 years. So you find the present value for the annuity factor for 7 years. You multiply it by 7, and you add it. Because it's now at a premium, you find the premium of 5% of the 100 is 5. So you find the present value of 105. You add the two together, you get 92.67. You shouldn't get above 100 because of the interest rate. So you see, it's at a discount. It's at a discount. So anyway, your major question: poison pill? No. Golden parachute. Your major question: Awuku Limited has announced a 1-for-4 rights issue at a subscription price of 2 cedis 50 pesos. The current cum rights price of the share is 4 cedis 10 pesos. What is the new ex-dividend market value of the share? Awuku Limited has announced a 1-for-4 rights issue at a subscription price of 2 cedis 50 pesos. The current cum right price of the share is 4 cedis 10 pesos. What is the new ex-dividend market value of the share?
3.78.
Correct. That's correct. Uzi A. That is correct. Poison pill. Poison pill. Your major question. On 20th July 2023, Richmond Eduardo purchased machinery at a cost of 50,000 cedis. Calculate the tax value to be shown on the face of Richmond Eduardo's monthly VAT return. On 20th July 2023, Richmond Eduardo purchased a machinery at a cost of 50,000 cedis. Calculate the taxable value to be shown on his monthly VAT return. That is not correct. Taxable value. No, it is not correct. Bonus to golden parachute.
The answer 177.
No. Okay, so let me explain this. The invoice price is 50,000. You know you have to find the get fund levy on it, which is 2.5 or 50,000. So you get 1,250. Then you also find the NHIL. The national health insurance, it is 2.5% of the value of 50,000 again. You get the same value of 1,250. Then you now find your COVID-19 levy of 1%, which is 500. When you add all of them together, taxable value is 53,000 cedis. Okay, anyway. Your major question, I shouldn't have explained this. Golden parachute. Abraham Caesar Enterprise, which is an equipment hiring company, has raises an invoice in a sum of 700,000 cedis, excluding related levies, to withholding VAT agent DJ Maestro Ventures. Calculate the output VAT to be shown on the face of Abraham Caesar's enterprise VAT return. So Abraham Caesar Limited is an equipment hiring company, has raises an invoice in the sum of 700,000 cedis, excluding related levies, to a withholding VAT agent, DJ Maestro Ventures. Calculate the output VAT to be shown on the face of Abraham Caesar's VAT return.
The output VAT is 92750.
No, you have another opportunity.
The answer is 111300.
That is correct. 111,300,000. Poison pill, your major question. Last year, the price of coffee, tea, and hot chocolate in a cafe were 55 cedis, 28 cedis, and 72 cedis respectively. This year, the same item cost 62 cedis, 32 cedis, and 74 cedis respectively. What is the mean relative price index for this year based on last year? So last year, the price of coffee, tea, and hot chocolate in a cafe were 55 cedis, 25 cedis, and 72 cedis respectively. This year, the same item cost 62, 32 cedis, and 74 cedis respectively. What is the mean price relative index for this year based on last year? It's 1.824. No, that is not correct. Use your microphone. Your time is up. Bonus golden parachute.
The answer is 1.083.
No, that is not correct. Okay, so this is pretty simple. You have been given last year's figures and this year's figures. So for each of them, you divide this year's figures over the last year's figure. So you, for the first one, it's 62 over 55. You would have gotten 1.127. Second one would be 32 over 28. You would have gotten 1.143. And the hot chocolate would have been 74 over 72. And you are asked the mean. So you find the average. That is adding all this divided by 3 and multiply by 100. You would have gotten 109.9 cities. 109.9. That is the price index. Anyway, common preamble to both teams. Whose major question was it? It was poison pill. So now golden parachute, your major question. So, but this is a common preamble. Listen and write the appropriate figures. The following is an extract from the national income data of a country for 2050. The agricultural sector produced foodstuffs worth 1151 million cedis. 1,151 million cedis. Manufacturing produced 1,035 million cedis. So 1035 million cedis. Transport and communication and government services contributed 1,170 million cedis. Farmers received 350 million cedis as subsidies, while government collected 390 million in direct tax. 150 million worth of capital was estimated to have been used up. So I'm taking it again. Agricultural sector produced 1,151 million cedis. Manufacturing sector 1,035 million cedis. Transport and communication government services contributed 1,170 million cedis. Farmers received 350 million as subsidies, whilst government collected 390 million cedis in indirect tax. 150 million worth of capital was estimated to have been used. Your major question: golden parachutes. Determine the country's gross domestic product in market prices.
So the answer is 3356.
Excellent. It's correct. 3,356 million is correct. Poison pill, your major question. Calculate the net domestic product at factor cost. Net domestic product at factor cost.
$3,396.
You have another opportunity. It is not 3316. Bonus to golden parachute.
3166.
It's 3266. 3266. So it's the 3,556 plus 350 minus the difference between 390 and the 150. And the 150. So the next question. Aku Hammond Limited statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st December 2022 showed a net profit of 83,000 cedis. It was later found that 18,000 cedis paid for the purchase of a motor van had been debited in the motor expenses account. It is the company's policy to depreciate motor van at 25% per year on a straight line basis with a full year charge in the year of acquisition. What will be the net profit? What would the net profit be after adjusting for this error? So Anku Hammond Limited statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st December 2022 showed a net profit of 83,600 cedis. It was later found that 18,000 cedis paid for the purchase of a motor van had been debited to the motor expenses account. It is the company's policy to depreciate the motor van at 25% per year on straight line basis with a full year charge in the year of acquisition. What would be the net profit after adjusting for this error?
96,500.
No, that is not correct.
$78,500.
70.
8,500.
It is not 78,500. Bonus to poison pill.
91,700.
It's 97,100. So you pick the profit, which is 83,600. The purchase of the motor van, you add it to it because it has been subtracted. Then you find 25% of the depreciation, which would have been 4,500, and you subtract it from it. You would have gotten 97. It's 96,500. So they were initially correct. So give golden parachute 3 points. They had it correct. They had it correct. Okay, the last question for the round is going to poison pill. Poison pill. Listen carefully. At 30th June 2020, Moomin Special is a company. Allowances for receivable was 39,000 cedis. At 30th June 2051, Trade receivable totaled 517,000 cedis. It was decided to write off debt totaling 37,000 cedis and to adjust the allowance for receivable to the equivalent of 5% of the trade receivable based on past events. What figure should appear in the statement of profit and loss for the year ended 30th June 2023 for receivable expenses? So at 30th June 2050, moving special allowances for receivable was 39,000. At 30th June 2051, trade receivable totaled 517,000 cedis. It was decided to write off debt totaling 37,000 cedis and to adjust allowances for receivable to the equivalent of 5% of trade receivable based on past events. What figure should appear in the statement of financial position at the end of June 2023 for receivable expenses?
567150.
No.
Six one eight eight five zero.
No bonus to golden parachute.
454150.
I'm having 22,000 cedis here. Okay, so you have a bad debt of 37,000 cedis. So the movement in allowances 517,000 cedis minus 37,000 times 5%. You would have gotten 24,000. Then you less the opening allowance of 39,000 out of it. You would have gotten a negative 15,000 cedis. Subtracted from 37,000 cedis, you would have gotten 22,000 cedis. Okay, so that's the end of round 2. And that is the end of round 2. You are still listening to Radio Winneba 98.3 FM and streaming live on our Facebook handle at Radio Winneba 98.3. And this is the Uewabs business challenge between Poison Pill and Golden Parachute. It has been a very interesting challenge so far between two very strong teams from the School of Business of UEW. They are showing their academic muscles and flexing them around. Do you have any information for us?
All I can say is that I'm confused. Today's questions, I don't know where it came from, and it's I'm feeling the heat even though I'm not part of the contestants.
So I was thinking I will answer my own questions, but they are surprising me.
They are surprising
They are
you.
actually surprising me.
Okay, so let's move on to your WhatsApp messages here. Ezekiel Lionel Davidson says, Blay is amazing. Blay can do. Austin Wyoming Jr. says, more fire. Opoku GA says, more vim, James. Don Chef says, Mr. Blay is on heat. K-Man says, keep making it a wonderful show. Samuel Kwame Techi says, James is on it. Celestine York says she's watching live from California. This is the United States of America. Yeah, Romeo says, Stephanie Lady Donko, how are you? She's doing well. Breaking news says, energy. Excellency Nanayao says, my guys are really doing great. Thumbs up for them. Shout outs to Dr. Gajo King Charles HRM level 400. Bright Ewusi says, sir, we beg. I don't know what is begging for. Victor Saki says, I just joined from broadcasting, watching from Accra live. Abam Ebenezer says, we love you, sir, more fire. Ratty GA says, watching you live from Canada, Ontario. Man Dusty says, super. Excellency Nanayao says, my guys are doing so well. Samuel Kwame Techi says, sir, we beg. Sir, today your people are begging you, even though they are their hostels and homes. Maxwell Enyim says, entry. He is laughing so bad here. Here again, he says some love emojis. Victoria Adisi says, more vim. Podo Emmanuel says, round 2, where gurus are indeed birth. The academic violence is on heat. James Platonic Aite says, James, more power. Alimo Lab says, the lion had actually learned how to write, and therefore the story of the hunt shall never glorify the hunter today. The comeback is complete. Hashtag Yakubu. Hashtag golden parachute. More fire. Maxwell Mentry says Yakubu on heat. Herbert Rule says round 2 is not rounding. Cry with a crying emoji. Kwabna says this one, dear, you've killed them all with a laughing emoji. And then Don Chef says the questions are too hard though, but the words in the sentence are something which is there. Platonic Aite says seriously round 2 is not easy. Don Chef came again. He says the round 2 is somehow good. Prince Ejekum says that this round demands high concentration. Kwa Ebenezer says James is performing wonders. Richmond Edu Ado says they are very good. It's not easy at all. Yes, so it's not easy. Breaking news says more fire. Austin Wyoming says fire. And then we have Hajia Jamila says, hey, this round is not easy, but you guys are doing well. Big ups to the golden parachute. So say, I want up to you.
Okay, so those who are begging, these are questions that you'll be solving next week. These are questions you'll be solving next week in your mid semester. I've already given you the clue. I've read the questions out, so it's up to you to solve them. You have 1 whole week to solve them before we meet next week. So it's up to you. You shouldn't beg. You see, I'm a loving father, so I've given you the questions before time. So solve them before we meet. So I want to say a very big thanks to all those sending their messages. Alimo, thank you very much. Richmond Eduardo, thank you very much. In fact, all of you, I'm taking notice of all of you. And okay, at the end of round 2, these are the results. Okay, as you can hear from the background, some teams are repping Asamoah. So at the end of round 2. Poison Pill actually had Asamoah. That is 3 points, and Golden Parachute had 15 points. So Poison Pill, your subsidiary is taking over you. What is happening?
Say the Cobra effect will take over.
Cobra effect, man. Poison is not good now. Cobra effect. Okay, let's see what happens.
No, they are leading, but all the runs by the end.
It seems like we went to buy Coca-Cola instead of DDT.
Okay. So you gave them.
So you go back to the pharmacy.
You gave them Coca-Cola in round 1, round 2. So you've now bought DDT.
Yeah.
Let's see what will happen. Okay, Golden Parachute. What are you doing? What is the secret?
They say they don't know, but we switch the drinks.
Okay. So you gave them the DDT and you took the Coca-Cola. That's it. That's interesting. Listeners and viewers of Radio Winneba 98.3, round 3 is upon us. In round 3, they have been given a 35-page case study, and they have already solved the solution. They are here to present their solution. But before they present the solution, I hear there is a tactical change. I hear Poison Pill. Wants to change, and so Poison Pill, the one bringing the DDT, is coming. I hear the one success has brought the DDT, and you can see that he's holding the red pen. I know red pens are for the examiners. Okay, so can you introduce yourself to us?
I am Fiadupe Success, therefore BB Accounting Level 300.
He's the handler of the DDT. Okay, he's Fiadu for success. Okay, it rhymes well. Okay, so they have been given a case study. This case study is a 35-page case. It's about a company that deals in tea production. They've been in operation since 1852, and they have 700 workers. They produce tea a premium tea for the market, and over the years they obtained their raw materials from northern Asia and Africa. In fact, it's a company that is operating in in an industry where they've been operating since 1852, and they've done very well with their operations. So our students were given the case and its accompanying questions. In fact, the company's operations has expanded to the extent that they got listed on the stock exchange in 1974. And by way of their managerial structure, it is a functional structure that they operate. They have operating manager, marketing manager, finance manager, human resource manager, and production manager. Their business model is first of all to define their value, and in defining their value, they basically they define their value in terms of the needs and wishes of their consumers, and by defining their values, they also go on and create a value. After creating a value, they try to deliver the value, and they capture the residual value from the markets. So they were given their from their financials. You realize that the company is doing very, very well. In 2021, they had a profit of 251 million cedis, and in 2022 they had a profit of 217 million cedis. So they are not doing bad at all. In terms of their market share, for revenue, they had about 90. I mean, the two products, loose tea had 9% of the revenue in 2021, and the tea bags had 91% of revenues in 2021. When it comes to 2020, the tea bags had 93% of the revenue, and loose tea had 7%. So you can see clearly that the tea bags are taking the majority of their revenue, are giving the majority of their revenue as against the loose tea. And again, to their competitors, compared to their competitors, the major competitor in the industry had a profit of 185 million cedis in 2021 as against 144 million cedis in 2020. So this is basically the summary of the case that was given to them. The question for them to answer were, first of all, so they were first to recommend with reasons whether the company should change the focus when defining value in their business model away from the needs and wishes of the consumer, and they are to consider the text and criticisms in the case. Again, the second question is for them to identify and discuss the impact of three major business risks that will arise from the company's sale of decaffeinated tea after the broadcast of a commentary that sought to bring the company's image down. The third question was for them to evaluate an argument put by the operations manager that the development team from the companies had acted appropriately based on an issue that happened in the case. And also the last question was for them to discuss the appropriateness of the continuing treatment of the 87 million cedis capitalized development cost in the financial statement. Is it correct to treat 87 million cedis as a capitalized cost in the financial statement or not? So they have already solved the answer. We would invite a rep from each team to give us a presentation. So starting with Poison Pill. Actually, the two teams presented one slide, so they are all going to discuss the slide based on their two perspectives, the major points on their two perspectives. So Poison Pill, you can sit or you can stand. No, come and sit here. You can so stand and present. Stand here. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you are still listening to Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and we are live on our Facebook handle, Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and we are waiting for a ref from Poison Pill to present, and you are in the person of.
Simon Alija.
So you can start your presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Have you heard of green tea, loose tea? Have you heard of teapot? Tea is estimated in the previous years to be the most second consumed drink after water. Ladies and gentlemen, our case today is to answer certain questions from a case study which was presented to us. But first of all, let me brief you about the company on which we are presenting on. And the company is called Pimpins Beverage. It is located in a city in Northlandia. The company was listed on the stock exchange in the 70s. Without wasting much time, ladies and gentlemen, let's go straight to the point. The first question was that recommend if they should change their focus away from the needs, and if they should change their focus away from the needs and sales of and wishes of. Please, I can't see it.
Go.
The first question was that we should recommend if they should change their focus away from the wishes of customers in the context of the criticism of the demand of the so that when we say decaffeinated teas, these are teas that are non-caffeinated or they are less caffeinated. So, however, decaffeinating your teas will lead to a change in flavor, which the company their customers. So, therefore, this might make them lose the customers. It must lead to loss in their revenue. So, therefore, we recommend that they shouldn't change their ways of determining the value of the customers. Therefore, we recommend that they shouldn't change the way. Please, next slide. They shouldn't change the. So we recommend that they should not change their ways of defining the values in their businesses models away from the needs of the customers, because even though tea has less caffeine than coffee, they can implement a chemical process of doing so without harming the customers. Please. And the second question was the business risks. Some of the business risks, the Pimpins companies is a market leader. It's a market leader. So with them changing their ways, it might lead to loss of customers, because in the tea industry, there are so many competitions. We have a company like Hot Load, which is a challenger, and the Pimpins company is the market leader. So this might lead to loss of customers. The customers might change their preference towards the goods of Hot Load's products. Please, the next slide. And the other questions was the other question. Please, can I come to the questions? So the question 3 was which Muslim's argument on the development team from the Pimpins product development department, if they have acted appropriately. Yes, they acted appropriately, because when they change the caffeinated components of the product, it was within the brief of the legal. It was within the confines of the legal aspect of it, which states that the standard caffeinated component that should be in the product must be at least 97.5%. And the fourth slide, please. So, and the fourth question was that is the capitalization an appropriate? Should they continue to capitalize the 87,000? Yes, they should continue, because 87,000 cannot be written off within 1 year, because it's a capital project. It should not be written off within 1 year. Therefore, if it is written off within 1 year, this might lead to a huge. Thank you.
Um, Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I'm a rep from Golden Parachute, and I'm here to present on a case that was given to us. And from the case, we're given a company to assess them on some questions. In the first place, the company's name is Pepper's Beverages, and this company was established in 1852. So we cannot imagine how experienced such a company could be. So the questions that we were given from the slide, the first one was to recommend if we were to recommend if the company should change their focus on from needs and wishes of customers in the context of criticism of the demand of decaffeinated tea. So we know that maybe in this side of our world we don't take tea that much, but from where the company is located, tea is a very essential beverage to them, for which is the second most taken apart from water. So the case was that, as we all know, tea contains such an amount of coffee for which we might think is not good for customers' consumption. So they asked the question was there was a documentary that was criticizing that the decaffeinated tea which contains caffeine shouldn't be the focus of the company. But as we can see, the company was established in 1852 and listed in 1974. So we know how this their value that they have has created the wealth that it has created for them. There is a mechanism where the caffeine in the tea can be reduced through a chemical process and reduce the caffeine in the tea so that it will be healthy for customers. And we suggested that they shouldn't change because they can use that process to minimize the caffeine. The question two was, please, the question. So the question two was the impact of the three major business risks after the documentation of the broadcast. So as I said, there was a broadcast that was criticizing the decaffeinated tea that the company sells. So if they continue to document that documentary, it's going to have effect, or it's going to have business risks, which the first one is the major one is they may lose customers. As we know that some of their customers take the tea and some of them are sensitive to caffeine. So if they take the tea and maybe they develop health problems, they might desist from purchasing from them. And the second one is to lose their position as the major leader to hot low tea. So we know that the company is a business leader in its sector, for which it have other four major competitors, for which the major competitor is hot low. So if the documentary goes out, it is going to affect them, and hot low might take back their position as the market leader. The next slide, please. Okay, so they asked that there were a development team which there was a development team which took this process to the decaffeination. They asked us to evaluate the argument on the development team of the Pimpins Product Development Department if they have acted appropriately. Okay, so the first thing is that they acted appropriately because they acted within the debriefings, or the permission that was given to them to take the work and reduce the caffeine in the tea. They didn't exceed their authority, so they acted appropriately. The second thing is that there is a legal standard for, if you are performing a decaffeinated process, the caffeine should reduce to a tune of 97.7%, and also the company met that standard. And the last one was what they did reduce the harmfulness of that the tea projects to the customers. So based on this, we deemed that they acted appropriately. And the last question was the appropriateness of the capitalization of the 87 million. And we say that we all know that 87 million cannot be written off within a year, and it's going to cause a huge loss to the company. So it would be more appropriate that they capitalize this 87 million, and also so that they amortize it over the next 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excellent presentation from Kofi. And so, yes, of course, the first question was whether they should change their focus. We realized that most of them were saying that they shouldn't change their focus. And it is indeed true. This is a company that has been operating for the past 170 years.
consumers may be discouraged from buying it because of the documentary. So that is the first risk. The second risk has to do with the reputation risk. You can imagine this is a company that has been operating for the past 170 years, and for you to just take the product back because of the documentary, you realize the reputation is going to be affected. So then it means that the product will start falling if you are to take the product back. The third one is the contractual risk. No, this is the highest, this is the company with the highest market share. What it means is that most retailers have bought this product and they are in their store. If you call this product back, they will raise contractual issues. So if you have contractual risk, they have contractual risk that should be handled with. So there are three risks involved: the product risk, reputation risk, and the contractual risk. You just mentioned something around it and not specifically on that one. Yes. The third question: was the development team right or wrong? You all had it correct by saying that they indeed had it correct. What they developed was within the peripherals of the requirements of a good product. So they did what they did because they did it well. And you know, this even for the product to attract the media to conduct a documentary on it means that they did something that exceeded the anticipated demand. That is why it attracted the media. And it could even be a strategy from their major competitor to distract them from their major line of action. So then the development team didn't do anything wrong because they worked within the remit of the law and also were able to develop a product. In fact, they even deserve an award for what they did because they developed a product that attracted market needs, and so they shouldn't punish them. And the last one, all of you were saying that yes, it's indeed correct that development costs should be capitalized. But what I was looking out for is, according to IAS 38, intangible assets, a development cost is expected to be capitalized and amortized over a period of time. So you were indeed correct by saying that it cannot be expensed within a year. But the key word there is relinking it with IAS 38, and note that they have financial management gurus there, and so treating it according to IAS 38 is indeed the right thing. So that was what I was expecting from you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at what they gave us. Yes, the presentation from Poison Pill was a bit okay. He was tense at the beginning, but he had his points on all right. For their effort, they had 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. The 8 is because you had a very first point correct. You explained it well, so that's 2.5. The last point, the second one, you only mentioned something around. You didn't mention specifically product risks. Neither did you mention reputational risks or contractual risks. So I give you 0.5, making it 3. The third one, you had it correct. The development team did nothing wrong, so 2.5. And you had I was so benevolent to give you the full mark for the other one as well. So that is how come you had 8 out of 3. For the so they had 8 out of 10. Sorry, out of 10. Poison Pill, Golden Parachute presented excellently. They had the points right for the first one, just as Poison Pill. What they did additionally to what Poison Pill did was to talk about something around reputation risk. They didn't mention it specifically, but just mentioning something around reputation risks will give them an additional point ahead of Poison Pill. So on that score, they are giving 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. So that is the end of round 3. That is the end of round 3. Let's see whether we have some comments from our cherished listeners and viewers of Radio Winneba 98.3. This is still the Uewabs Business Sense Challenge, brought to you by Radio Winneba 98.3 FM and the School of Business, with technical support from all the departments from the school and my various technical expertise Marcus Oboadetete, Rebecca Ban, Richmond Eduardo, and Seto, the student professor, and all the rest. any news for us?
Yeah, we have Fankeje here. He says the poison pill is killing the team. Sterling Omar says waiting for Aaron with the fire emoji. Austin Wyoming says tell them we are coming, Bunda. Shafi Ula says standing ovation for the teams. They are doing well. Richmond Edu Ado says all the best guys. Maxwell Enyim entry says Yakubu on fire. Sterling Omar says waiting for Aaron. Kweku the princess, more fire, Mr. Gajo. Celestine New York is asking. She says, I would like to know where the school is located in Africa. The school is located in Ghana, West Africa. When you come to Ghana, at the central part of the country or the central region, you come to the township of Winneba. Here is where the University of Education Winneba is situated. Now, Elvis Entry Eje says, awaiting for Aaron. Alimo says, the guys are doing well. The comeback is complete. Shafiula says, these guys need standing ovation. Ezekiel Line Davidson said, Simon, my changer. And we have Elvis Entry AJ says, waiting for Aaron. Brighter Wisi says, I love your apparel. Amina, you look good in your dress. Thank you. Purity Brown says, Mr. Gajo's questions are not for the week. From my race junior. We have 2 p.m. says, big ups to Aaron. Thomas Tehipte says, Mr. Gajo, God bless you. Breaking news says, this one, dear, relax, give us why, Mr. Gajo. Nukbeza Christopher says, more fire. Sterling Omar says, Aaron is doing well. Abam Ebenezer says, okay, so Benjamin Nanakweku Eshan says, I see you, ho ho. I'm really enjoying the quiz. Keep it up. Yeah, so say that's the comments we have so far.
Thank you very much. Keep your comments coming. I'm enjoying them. Thank you to all our cherished listeners. Thomas TMT, big ups to you, and to all the level 400 students, level 300 students. In fact, all the students of School of Business, UEW. In fact, Winneba is a cozy area. It's a nice area for you for academic work. When you come here, that's why where we had the name Winneba. The wind has indeed arrived. So when you come here, you have your peace of mind to study, and the environment is so nice for you to study. And so come here. It's at the coastal area of Ghana, the central region specifically. Thank you very much. So we move on to round 4A. That is the business segment where questions are asked on Radio Windy-based business news segment throughout the week. So I'm starting with Poison Pill. Poison Pill, your major question. By what percentage did the net fees and commissions from UMB Bank increase in December 2022? By what percentage did net fees and commissions of UMB Bank increase in December 2022?
%37.4%.
No, that's not 37.4.
24.7.
It's not correct. Bonus to golden parachute.
32.2.
It is 27.4. 27.4%. So you just missed it by 1. Now, golden parachute. How much did UMB Bank record in net interest income in 2022? How much did they record in net interest income in 2022?
$15.8 billion.
15.8
billion Ghana.
That is correct. Poison Pill. What is the threshold for international tariff peaks? What was the threshold for what is the threshold for international tariff peaks? Bonus to golden parachute.
170.
It is exceeding 15%. Exceeding 15%. Golden parachute, your major question. What are domestic peaks? What are domestic peaks?
Domestic peaks, it refers to the highest level of trade within a country.
No, no. Okay, bonus to poison pill. So domestic peaks are those 3 times higher than the national average. Those 3 times higher than the national average. Poison pill, your major question. Which scholars posited that the second stage of the business society relationship is trusteeship management? Which scholars posited that the second stage of business society relationship is trusteeship management? Mm-mm. It's not yours. It's poison pill.
Rockefeller and then Van de Peel.
It can be Rockefeller. Golden pill, golden parachute.
Ed Gray and Henry Hay.
Excellent. That is correct. Golden parachute. Who is World Bank's managing director in charge of operations? Who is World Bank's managing director in charge of operations?
Frank Laporte.
No.
The answer.
Okay, so your time is up. Poison pill.
And Jed.
Correct. And Jet is correct. Poison pill. Ghana's economy has been hit with an unsustainable debt of how much? Ghana's economy has been hit with an unsustainable debt of how much?
575.7 billion Ghana cedis.
Correct. That is correct. Golden parachute. Golden parachute. What percentage of universal banks operating in the country did not record significant losses in 2022 financial year? What percentage of the universal banks operating in the country did not record significant losses in 2022 financial year?
30%.
30. Come again.
30.43.
Correct. 30.43% is correct. Okay, your major question. Poison pill. What is the coupon of government bond maturing? What is the coupon on government bond maturing at 2028? The coupon on government bonds maturing at 2028.
3.25%.
Correct. That is correct. Golden parachute. What is the scope of risk managed by traditional risk management? What is the scope of risk managed by traditional risk management?
Domestic risks.
It can be domestic risk. Poison pill. Bonus.
Insurable risks and hazard risks.
Excellent. Poison pill. The average most favored nation tariff in 2006 was. The average most favored nation tariff in 2006 was.
%22.
Your time is up. Bonus to golden parachutes.
12.4%.
It's 10.1%. It's 10.1%. Golden parachute. What percentage of products in Africa is duty free? What percentage of products in Africa is duty free? Yes, it's your question.
Agri products.
No, what percentage? Your time is up.
4%.
Your time is up. Poison pill. Bonus.
8.8%.
20%. The answer is 20%. Poison pill. Oh, but 8% and 20% is far. It's far. They have only one attempt, so it's so far. Okay, the last set of questions for the round. Poison pill. As of June 2022, how many large firms in the world had set a net zero target? As of June 2022, how many large firms in the world had set a net zero target? So golden parachute are
20,000.
waiting. They are waiting anxiously. No, come again. Did you say 20,000? It's too far. It's too far. Okay, golden parachute bonus.
702.
Excellent. It's 702. Now the last question for the round. Golden parachute. Who is the senior manager for inclusive insurance at Enterprise Life? Who is the senior manager for inclusive insurance at Enterprise Life?
Nana Kwesi Odro.
Akuoku, correct. Nana Kwesi Odu Akuoku is correct. Okay, so that's the end of round 4A, where they were quizzed on questions in the business news for the whole week of for the whole week. And this is still Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. You are listening to the Uewabs Business Sense Challenge between Golden Parachute and Poison Pill. So far, the contest has been very, very interesting, and they've been faced with a very, very interesting, very, very challenging questions. Poison Pill, how is the seat? How is the seat?
I think we are being taken by surprise, but we hope to come back better.
Golden Parachute. Will you make it?
We are still comfortably.
Comfortably. So at the end of round 3, round 4A, Golden Parachute had 11 points and Poison Pill had 8 points. Let me continue with round 4B. Round 4B is true or false, where they are asked questions. When they get it correct, it's 2 points. When you get it wrong, it's -1. A team can decide not to answer their question, in which case it is passed on to the next team in the same conditions. So starting with Golden Parachute now. Golden Parachute, your major question. Economic profit differs from accounting profit because accounting profit includes only explicit payments to outside providers of resources and depreciation based on historic cost of physical capital. Economic profit differs from accounting profit because accounting profit includes explicit payment to outside providers of resources and depreciation based on historic cost of physical capital.
True.
X is correct. True is correct. Your major question, Poison Pill. The long run marginal cost schedule is perfectly competitive. Is the perfectly competitive firm's supply curve. The long run marginal cost schedule is the perfectly competitive firm's supply curve.
True.
Correct. Golden Parachute. The least likely outcome when both aggregate supply and aggregate demand increases is higher unemployment. The least likely outcome when both aggregate supply and aggregate demand increases is higher unemployment.
False.
That is wrong. Poison Pill. The primary objective of a treasury single account is to ensure effective aggregate control over government expenditure. The primary objective of treasury single account is to ensure effective aggregate control over government expenditure.
True.
That is not correct. Golden Parachute. In a rehabilitate, operate and transfer arrangement, residual interest in the asset is for the guarantor. In rehabilitate, operate and transfer arrangement, residual interest in the asset is for the guarantor.
That sounds true.
Correct. Poison Pill. Budgeted reliability, management of assets and liability, and policy-based fiscal strategy and budgeting are all pillars of public expenditure and financial accountability framework. But budget reliability, management of assets and liability, and policy-based fiscal strategy and budgeting are all pillars of public expenditure and financial accountability framework.
True.
Correct. Golden parachute. Single chain is a type of grapevine communication where a person speaks out and tells everyone the information he or she has obtained. Single chain is a type of grapevine communication where a person speaks out and tells everyone the information he or she has obtained.
False.
That is correct. Poison pill. When a speaker chooses to be straight, open, frank, and outspoken with his message, then the speaker chooses a concentrate approach. When a speaker chooses to be straight, open, frank, and outspoken with his message, then the speaker has chosen a concrete approach. A concrete approach. It's bonus to golden parachutes.
True.
That is a false statement. Golden parachute, your major question. We tend to a treasurers when we have the meaning of the word already but don't yet have the word. We tend to a treasurers when we have the meaning of a word already but not yet the word.
True.
Correct. Poison pill. Firewalls is a software which monitors systems, network resources, and notifies the entity network management personnel when it senses an intrusion so that measures can be taken to stop it. Firewall is a software which monitors systems and network resources and notifies the entity's network management personnel when it senses an intrusion so that measures can be taken to stop it.
False.
That is correct. Golden parachutes. Machine languages are the most basic level of programming languages. Machine languages are the most basic level of programming languages.
False.
It is true. Poison pill. Veracity of a big data means the huge volume of data that big data reflects is capable of creating huge value for organizations, societies, and consumers. Veracity of big data means the huge volume of data that big data reflects is capable of creating huge value for organizations, societies, and consumers.
False.
That is correct. Golden parachute. Key audit matters should include a statement that the auditor report has been carried out in accordance with applicable international standard on auditing. Key audit matters should include a statement that auditor's report has been carried out in accordance with applicable international standard on auditing.
True.
That is false. That is false. The last question for the round, poison pill. An emphasis of matter paragraph does not affect the audit opinion. An emphasis of matter paragraph does not affect the audit opinion.
True.
That is correct. You are still listening to Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. You are still listening to Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM, and we are live on our Facebook handle Radio Windy Bay 98.3, and this is the Uewabs Business Challenge brought to you by the School of Business of the University of Education Winneba with technical support from all the departments, namely Department of Accounting, Department of Applied Finance and Policy Management, Department of Management Science, Department of Marketing and Entrepreneurship, Department of Procurement and Supply Chain Management, and Radio Windy Bay.
Okay, so we are back to your messages. Freeman Aqua says, let's see if success can change the game this time round. Ali Mola says, Chale, you guys are really doing well. In fact, UEW learning is very easy, and the fraternity is going to buy you guys 4 tickets for the upcoming Uewabs dinner and awards night. Keep the fire burning, guys. And Milovan Valentin says, Milovan is just a Facebook identity. The real name is Richard Mayer. Elvis Entry Ejeyi says, Aaron all the way. Abam Ebenezer says, indeed, Mr. Gajo is more than examiner. Hey, God. Victoria Adisi said, today is not for the weak. More fire, team. Ali Molaf says, more fire. Thomas Tehepete says, guys, you are doing marvelously well. And we have Ajia Jalima says, the AI is powerful. King Banasco says, keep the good work. Felix Ling says, more heat, Aaron. Evans Autry says, come on, this is good. Solomon King Mera says, brains at work. Bright Ewusi says, presentation mu promise. Hey, Mr. Quiz Master. This round is for those with AI's brains. Oh, hey. From Ali Mulav. And Bright Ewusi says, the comeback is fire. I love it. And Bright Ewusi came again, says, beautiful brains. Oh, yeah. So.
Thank you very much, Bright. We'll see Freeman, Aqua, Ali Mulav. Thank you. Let your messages come and we'll. At the end of round 4B, these are the scores. Golden Parachute had 4 points and Poison Pill had 9 points. A very close contest. And because of how close the contest is, Golden Parachute is effecting a very tactical change. The Aaron who was never on stage but was receiving the messages has now arrived. The Aaron who was never here but was receiving the messages has now arrived. Please, can you introduce yourself to us?
Fiat Aaron, BB account level 200.
Fiat. So we have Fiat Aaron, BB accounting level 200. Round 5 and final round. Who wins this contest? A very, very close contest. Okay. Are you ready? So you indicate your readiness by ringing your bell. Poison Pill, let me hear your voice. Let me press the bell. Let me. Okay, you are still listening to. Okay, so Golden Parachute. Let me. Was it Golden? Wow. Okay, so you are still listening to Radio Winneba 98.3. We are working on the bell for Poison. The poison is too much for the batteries, so it is not picking. A success. Okay, so let's go over again. Poison Pill and Golden Parachute. Okay, so let's start. Let the violence begin here. Let's see who wins this contest. Riddle number 1. When they get it on the first clue, it is 5 points. Second clue, 4 points. Third, fourth, and fifth clue, it is awarded 3 points. We have 4 riddles in this round. Let's start. I was released as a freely available research preview. 2. I'm notable for enabling users to refine and steer conversations towards a desired length, format, style, level of detail, and language. 3. By January 2023, I had become the fastest growing consumer software application in history, gaining over 100 million users. 4. Some observers expressed concerns over the potential of me to displace human intelligence and enable plagiarism or whose one? I heard Golden Parachute. Poison Pill. Let me listen to you. They rank first. Let me listen to yours. No, I heard golden parachute. Golden parachute. What's the answer? Take the microphone.
It's the
The time is up. So poison pill. You also rang. It has it gone? Has it left?
Artificial intelligence.
Chat GPT. So the last radio. I am an artificial intelligence. So the last radio was I am an artificial intelligence tool developed by OpenAI and launched on November 30th, 2022. And it is Chat GPT. The pressure is too much for Aaron. Relax, relax, relax. Okay, so radio number 2. I was originally developed for an employer to calculate payroll in the 19th century. 2. I track the start and end times of tasks or just the duration. It may contain a detailed breakdown of tasks accomplished throughout the project or program. 3. My information may be used for payroll, client billing, and increasingly for project costing, estimation, tracking, and management. I help reduce costs by making payroll processing more efficient, by making costs visible so that they can be reduced, and by automating billing and invoicing. Lastly, I am a method for recording the amount of workers' time spent on each job. Press the okay. Poison pill. Did you press it? Okay, so golden parachute.
Time sheet.
And Aaron has announced it. Time sheet. Aaron has announced his presence in grand style. Time sheet is correct. No wonder your name was being mentioned when you were backstage. So time sheet is correct. The next radio. I am a business-focused framework which defines a set of generic process for the management of IT. I help to bridge the gap between business risk, control needs, and technical issues. I am an IT governance tool that has been of tremendous benefit to IT professionals and has contributed immensely to effective control of information systems. I am a framework providing a more detailed understanding of concepts and principles of 6 specific components while identifying 4 domains and 34 IT processes. I was first released in 1996, originally as a set of control objectives to help the financial audit community better maneuver in IT-related environment. Who am I?
computerized audit assisted techniques.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is incorrect. Golden parachute. Sorry, poison pill. Any poison for us? Your time is up. The answer is COBIT. COBIT. Control Objectives for Information Related Technologies. COBIT. The last radio. Radio number 4. Economists refer to me as the minimum average variable cost point. Technically, I occur if the average revenue is below average variable cost at the profit maximizing profit positive level of output. 3. I am the point at which revenue received from the sale of goods or services produced cannot even cover the variable cost of production. 4. Analysts consider me when evaluating profitability, particularly of startup firms, by identifying the unit sales level at which the firm enters or leaves the production range for profitability. 5. I am a level of operations at which a company experiences no benefits. Golden parachute.
Break-even point.
No, I knew you would say break-even point. That is not correct. I am a level of operations at which a company experiences no profit for continuing operations and therefore decides to shut down operations. Who am I? Success is still counting his success. I think Golden Parachute, do you have the answer now?
Contribution.
It can't be contribution. Audience, do you know the answer? Yes. Do you know the answer for 30 pesos? Shadow point is correct. Shadow 30 pesos after the program. Okay, so the answer is indeed shut down point. Shut down point. And that is the end of the contest. That's the end of round 3. Obviously, at the end of round 5, the points are, the scores are Poison Pill 0, Golden Parachute 3 points. Poison Pill 0, Golden Parachute 3 points. The program was brought to you by Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM with technical support from all the departments from the School of Business and also from Marcus Obuadi Tete, Rebecca Ban, Richmond Eduardo, Seth Ashigbi, Thomas TMT, and all the students of the School of Business. We also thank the technical crew, namely Mr. Bright Fuga, Mr. Osman Mumin, Mr. Andrew Akuamon, Mr. Ibrahim Caesar, Mr. Emmanuel Pabite, Mr. Benedict Kofi Tachi, Miss Abisibe Annan, and DJ Maestro, the one and only DJ. So we are waiting for the final scores. So before the final scores, Poison Pill, how was the seat?
I think the seat today was a bit hot, and I believe our next time we will prepare very well and come back strong.
They will prepare very well and come. Golden Parachute, how was the seat today?
We also the hits are brought to the stage, and the kind of headache, and the kind of headache we have given them, they have to take Jibidor before they will be okay.
Okay, so they said Poison would have to take Jibidor before they will be okay. Indeed, the contest has been a very interesting contest. Thank you, listeners and viewers. We want to take the last messages from our viewers and listeners of Radio Windy Bay 98.3. Miss Abisi.
So we have the last drop of messages before we sign out. Prince Ajokum says, now on to the speed round. Elvis Entry says, Aaron on hits, but I think Aaron didn't help Moses to help the kingdom cross the sea. So we have 2 p.m. says, Fiati Aaron. Ajiman Alex says, my favorite round. Evans Ochi says, James and Aaron collaboration, I love it. And we have Hajia Jamila says, let the violence begin. We also have Kwabna Nowe says, what we go right for Monday because the questions there. Shafiula says, this Aaron guy, the Vim there, Charlie. Evans Ochi comes again, says, riddles, my favorite. James, kill it for me. We have Brad Kwabna says, James and Aaron on fire. Ajiman Flex says, preferably those who score higher in today's quiz should be given the opportunity to be on stage next week at the same time and venue. So thank you all for giving us your messages. Same time next week, we are here and we'll read out your messages for you.
Thank you very much. Next week we'll be here. In fact, it's a team. They will still be on stage, so we would expect you to come and support them. They will still be here. So next week, join us at the same time. For the quiz, you write it. You can't do anything about it. So you just solve the questions and come and write it on Monday. For those who are writing on Friday, you can't do anything about it. I gave you the first opportunity. You decided not to do well. The second opportunity is on its way. Please, the questions, you know them already. When I bring ChatGPT, you don't say it is difficult. When I bring all these radials, don't say it is difficult. You know them already. So don't beg me, okay? Because I've done what I can do for you. Okay, so at the end of the contest, the scores are Poison Pill. Poison Pill had 38 points. Poison Pill had 38 points. And Golden Parachute had 63 points. 63 points. The two teams have indeed done well. Honestly speaking, I was thinking the highest would have been 51 or 50. I never expected any of the teams to cross 60 points. This means that you are reading wide. I will encourage you to continue reading wide because there are more difficult concepts in business. There are more practical concepts that you need on your fingertips before we go for the national contest. Thank you for availing yourself for this all important information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and being with us throughout the program. We are very much pleased to have you, and also want to say very, very big thank you. Join us the same time next week. This has been your quiz master, Samuel Gameli Gajo, who calls himself a philo philosopher, who calls himself a philomath. Thank you very much. Hi, Charlie.